It doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is how much you keep. 90% of young people today run out of money before their next paycheck, and they don't even know why. Today, I'll reveal the 50-30-20 rule, the formula that can make you wealthier without increasing your income. The 50-30-20 rule is one of the simplest and most practical frameworks for managing personal finances, especially for those who are just starting to take control of their money. It offers a clear structure that helps people strike a balance between their essential needs, personal desires, and long-term financial goals. At its core, the rule divides your after-tax income into three main categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings or investments. Though it sounds simple, this method builds the foundation for financial stability, independence, and peace of mind. The first category, 50% for needs, represents the essentials that are required for daily living. These are the non-negotiable expenses that keep your life running smoothly: rent or mortgage payments, groceries, transportation, insurance, and utility bills. For many, this category may seem large, but it's crucial to keep it within the 50% limit. When your essential expenses exceed half of your income, you begin to limit your ability to save or enjoy life. If that's the case, it's important to reassess your lifestyle choices, perhaps by downsizing housing, reducing unnecessary subscriptions, or choosing more cost-effective modes of transportation. The goal is not to restrict yourself, but to make room for a more balanced and stress-free financial life. The second category, 30% for wants, is where flexibility and enjoyment come in. This portion of your income is meant for the things that make life more enjoyable, but are not strictly necessary for survival. It can include dining out, shopping for clothes, going to the movies, or traveling. While it's tempting to spend more in this category, the 30% cap helps ensure that you can indulge without jeopardizing your financial future. This category also serves as a reminder that money should not only be used to survive, but also to live well. It encourages a healthier relationship with spending, where you can treat yourself occasionally while still maintaining discipline. The final category, 20% for savings and investments, is where long-term financial success begins. This portion should be prioritized, not left for whatever remains at the end of the month. It includes saving for emergencies, paying off debt, investing in assets, or building a retirement fund. This 20% is the key to building wealth and achieving financial independence. By consistently saving and investing this amount, you create a safety net that protects you from unexpected challenges while allowing your money to grow over time. Even small, consistent contributions can compound into substantial wealth if maintained over years. The most important rule here is consistency, treating saving as a fixed expense rather than an optional choice. The beauty of the 50-30-20 rule lies in its simplicity and adaptability. It doesn't require advanced financial knowledge or complex tools. It gives you a clear picture of where your money is going and helps you make conscious spending decisions. Over time, it can be customized to fit different income levels or personal goals. For instance, if your income grows, you can adjust the ratio to 40-30-30, allocating more to savings. Conversely, during tougher financial times, you can temporarily shift priorities while still maintaining structure. In a world filled with financial stress and consumer temptations, the 50-30-20 rule acts as a compass. It reminds you that financial freedom doesn't come from how much you earn, but from how wisely you manage what you already have. By living within your means, spending intentionally, and saving consistently, you create a solid path toward security and fulfillment. This rule is not just about budgeting. It's about building a lifestyle of purpose, discipline, and long-term peace of mind. The benefits of the 50-30-20 rule go far beyond just managing your money. They touch almost every part of your life. At first glance, it may seem like a simple budgeting strategy, but when applied consistently, it can transform the way you think about money, goals, and security. Many people live paycheck to paycheck not because they earn too little, but because they lack a clear structure for how to use what they have. The 50-30-20 rule provides that structure, creating a roadmap for financial stability and emotional freedom. One of the greatest benefits of this rule is control. By clearly defining where each part of your income should go, you no longer feel lost or anxious about your spending. Instead of wondering where your money disappeared each month, you know exactly how much is allocated for needs, wants, and savings. This clarity turns money management into an intentional process rather than a reaction to circumstances. Over time, this habit builds financial awareness, empowering you to make decisions based on goals instead of emotions. Another key benefit is stress reduction. Financial uncertainty is one of the biggest causes of anxiety for individuals and families. When you know that your essentials are covered, the 50%, your desires are planned for, the 30%, and your future is being secured, the 20%, you create peace of mind. You can enjoy your life without the constant fear of running out of money or being unprepared for emergencies. The rule introduces a sense of order that replaces chaos with confidence. The 50-30-20 rule also encourages balance, a concept that many people overlook in pursuit of financial success. Some focus too much on saving, denying themselves simple joys. Others spend excessively and end up trapped in debt. This rule helps you strike the right balance between living for today and planning for tomorrow. It reminds you that money is a tool, not a master. You can enjoy it responsibly while still securing your long-term future. This balance is what turns financial planning into a sustainable lifestyle, not a temporary sacrifice. Another often overlooked benefit is how this rule builds habits of saving and investing early. When you consistently set aside 20% of your income, it becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth or exercising. Over time, that small habit compounds into real wealth. You start to see the power of discipline and time working together. Even if your savings begin small, the act of saving regularly reshapes your mindset from being a spender to being an investor. The longer you maintain this discipline, the faster you progress toward financial independence. In addition, the 50-30-20 rule fosters financial adaptability. Life is unpredictable. Expenses change, incomes fluctuate, emergencies occur. With this structure, you can make adjustments without losing balance. For example, if your income drops, you can temporarily reduce your wants category while keeping your savings goal intact. If your income increases, you can redirect a portion of that extra money to investments instead of letting lifestyle inflation take over. This flexibility is what makes the rule sustainable over a lifetime. Lastly, the rule promotes self-awareness and gratitude. When you categorize your expenses, you begin to see what truly matters. You start questioning whether each purchase adds real value to your life. This reflection not only saves money but also nurtures mindfulness. Over time, you stop chasing short-term pleasures and start aligning your spending with your deeper priorities: security, freedom, and happiness. In essence, the 50-30-20 rule is more than a formula. It's a philosophy of living. It teaches that financial peace doesn't come from luck or high income, but from clarity, consistency, and control. When you apply it with discipline, it gives you the most precious form of wealth: the freedom to live life on your own terms. Applying the 50-30-20 rule in real life is where theory turns into transformation. While understanding the concept is easy, the true power lies in consistent, mindful application. The process begins with awareness, knowing exactly how much money you earn, where it goes, and how to consciously allocate it according to your goals. With discipline and small steps, this rule can completely reshape your financial habits and give you a sense of control you may never have experienced before. The first step is to calculate your total monthly income after taxes. This includes your salary, bonuses, freelance work, or any other regular sources of income. Having a clear number allows you to apply the percentages correctly. For example, if your after-tax income is $2,000, you would allocate $1,000 for needs, $600 for wants, and $400 for savings and investments. The key here is accuracy. Guessing or rounding up your income can lead to poor decisions and misaligned spending. Once you have that number, the next task is to define your needs clearly. Needs are the essentials required for living, rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, transportation, and health care. If these expenses exceed 50% of your income, don't panic. Many people face this issue, especially in cities with high living costs. The goal is to gradually adjust, perhaps by finding more affordable housing, cooking at home instead of eating out, or cutting unnecessary recurring payments. You might not achieve the exact 50% right away, but every small adjustment moves you closer to financial balance. After covering your needs, focus on the 30% for wants. This category often causes the most confusion because the line between need and want can blur. Wants are things that improve your lifestyle but are not essential for survival, like dining out, new clothes, streaming subscriptions, or leisure activities. The beauty of this 30% is that it gives you permission to enjoy life without guilt. It prevents burnout from excessive saving while ensuring that your pleasures remain within a healthy boundary. Tracking these expenses can be eye-opening. You may realize how small indulgences, daily, coffee runs, or frequent online shopping can silently consume a big portion of your budget. Then comes the most important part, the 20% for savings and investments. This step is where you build your future. Ideally, you should automate this process by transferring 20% of your income to a separate account immediately after getting paid. This ensures that you pay yourself first. Within this 20%, you can create subcategories: 10% for an emergency fund, 5% for debt repayment, and 5% for investments such as stocks, mutual funds, or retirement accounts. The purpose is to make your money work for you, not just sit idle. Even if you can't start with the full 20%, begin with what you can: 10%, 5%, even 2%. Consistency matters more than the amount. To maintain discipline, use budgeting tools or spreadsheets. Apps like Mint, YNAB, or even a simple Excel sheet can help track spending and show where you're drifting off balance. Set weekly or monthly check-ins to review your progress. These moments of reflection are crucial. They help you catch patterns, adjust proportions, and celebrate milestones. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Finally, remember that life changes, and so should your budget. The 50-30-20 rule is flexible by design. If you get a raise, increase your savings portion. If you're paying off a debt, you might temporarily allocate more toward it and reduce wants. The key is to adapt while maintaining structure. Over time, this process becomes second nature. You no longer feel restricted by money, but guided by it. When applied with consistency, the 50-30-20 rule transforms from a simple financial framework into a lifestyle of intentional living. You start spending with purpose, saving with pride, and investing with vision. It's not just about money management, it's about mastering your future. Even though the 50-30-20 rule is simple and powerful, many people fail to see its full benefits because of a few common mistakes. These errors might seem small at first, but over time they can derail your financial goals and lead to frustration or even debt. Understanding these pitfalls early helps you stay on track and apply the rule effectively, turning it from just another budgeting idea into a lifelong financial habit. One of the most frequent mistakes is confusing needs with wants. It sounds straightforward, but in practice, the distinction can blur. A need is something essential for survival, like food, rent, electricity, or medical expenses. A want is something that makes life more enjoyable, such as eating out, buying new clothes, or upgrading your phone. The problem arises when people label their wants as needs to justify unnecessary spending. For example, saying, "I need coffee from a cafe every morning," or "I need a new phone every year," turns comfort into perceived necessity. This mindset can quickly inflate your expenses and push your needs category far beyond 50%, leaving little room for savings or balance. The solution is honesty. Evaluate every purchase by asking, "Do I need this to live or just want it to feel good?" Another mistake is not tracking spending consistently. Many people set up the 50-30-20 plan but forget to monitor it. Without tracking, your budget becomes meaningless. It's easy to lose sight of where your money goes, especially with digital payments and subscriptions. A few untracked expenses each week can quietly break your balance. The best remedy is to use a budgeting app or notebook and record your expenses regularly. By reviewing your spending weekly or monthly, you can adjust before things spiral out of control. A third common mistake is saving what's left instead of saving first. This is perhaps the most damaging habit of all. Many people pay all their bills, spend freely, and then attempt to save whatever remains, if anything does. The 50-30-20 rule works best when you pay yourself first. As soon as you receive your income, allocate the 20% for savings or investments before spending on anything else. By automating this process, you remove temptation and ensure that your future always comes first. Over time, you'll barely notice the difference, but your savings will steadily grow. Failing to create a clear investment plan is another major error. Saving money is only half the equation. Making it grow is the other. Many people leave their savings idle in low-interest accounts, which means inflation slowly erodes their value. To truly benefit from the 20%, a portion should be invested wisely in mutual funds, index funds, or other assets suited to your risk tolerance. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to start. Even small, consistent investments compound over time and help you build real wealth. Another trap is rigidly applying the rule without flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Your income, expenses, and priorities change. Treating the 50-30-20 rule as a strict, unchangeable formula can create unnecessary pressure. For example, during times of financial strain, it might make sense to shift your ratio to 60-20-20, prioritizing needs temporarily. When your income rises, you can reverse it, 40-30-30, increasing your savings. The point is not to stick perfectly to the numbers, but to maintain the underlying principle, balance, awareness, and discipline. Lastly, ignoring lifestyle inflation is a subtle but dangerous mistake. When people start earning more, they often increase their spending instead of their savings. The rule of thumb is, when your income rises, let your lifestyle rise slower. Keep your needs and wants proportionate and direct most of the extra income toward savings or investments. This mindset accelerates wealth accumulation and ensures that financial growth translates into freedom, not just more consumption. Avoiding these mistakes requires mindfulness, not perfection. Every error is an opportunity to learn and recalibrate. The more you practice awareness, questioning your habits, reviewing your progress, and staying honest with yourself, the more effective the 50-30-20 rule becomes. Over time, your financial decisions become natural, your confidence grows, and you find yourself moving steadily toward true financial independence. Optimizing the 50-30-20 rule is about transforming it from a budgeting formula into a personal financial philosophy that works uniquely for your life. Once you've mastered the basics, allocating your income into needs, wants, and savings, you can take it further by refining your approach, adding strategy, and cultivating the mindset that sustains long-term wealth. Financial success isn't just about managing money well once. It's about developing habits and systems that make success automatic. Even when circumstances change, the most important strategy to maximize this rule is to pay yourself first. This means setting aside your 20% for savings and investments the moment your income arrives, before spending on anything else. By automating transfers to a savings account or investment platform, you eliminate the temptation to spend that money impulsively. This one change can completely shift your relationship with money. Instead of saving what's left, you live off what remains after saving. Over time, this habit builds resilience and guarantees steady progress toward financial independence. You begin to think like an investor, not just a consumer. Another way to enhance the rule is to set clear financial goals. Saving 20% is good, but saving for something specific is powerful. When you know exactly what you're working toward, buying a home, building an emergency fund, funding education, or achieving early retirement, you give your money purpose. Purpose fuels motivation, and motivation sustains discipline. Break down large goals into smaller milestones and celebrate each achievement. For example, if your goal is to save $12,000 in a year, divide it into monthly targets of $1,000. Reaching those smaller wins builds confidence and keeps you committed. You Can also optimize the rule by reviewing and adjusting your budget every few months. Life is dynamic. Expenses shift, income grows, and priorities evolve. A budget that worked last year may no longer suit your current needs. By reviewing your finances every 3 to 6 months, you can detect patterns, eliminate wasteful spending, and realign your plan. For instance, if your wants category is consistently below 30%, you could redirect that extra money into savings or investments. Conversely, if inflation pushes your needs beyond 50%, you can find new ways to reduce costs or boost income. The key is adaptability. Financial success favors those who adjust without losing discipline. A powerful optimization strategy is to increase your savings rate when income rises. This prevents lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of wealth. Instead of spending every extra dollar you earn, keep your living costs stable and direct the surplus into investments. For example, if you receive a raise, automatically increase your savings from 20% to 25% or even 30%. You'll hardly feel the difference in daily life, but over time, the impact on your wealth will be exponential. Remember, every small percentage increase compounds massively over the years. Another way to refine your approach is by diversifying your 20% savings category. Instead of letting all your money sit in a low-yield savings account, allocate it strategically. Build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, pay down high-interest debt, and invest the rest in assets that generate returns, like index funds, stocks, or real estate. This not only protects your money, but also helps it grow faster than inflation. Even modest investments, when started early, can snowball into financial independence thanks to the power of compounding. Lastly, develop a mindset of intentional living. The true success of the 50-30-20 rule isn't about numbers, it's about values. Every spending choice reflects what you prioritize. When you align your money with your values, you gain not only financial freedom but emotional fulfillment. Be mindful of what you spend on and why. Choose experiences and goals that truly enrich your life rather than temporary pleasures. This shift from consumption to intention transforms the rule from a budget into a lifestyle philosophy, one rooted in balance, growth, and purpose. When practiced consistently and mindfully, the 50-30-20 rule becomes more than just financial guidance. It becomes a blueprint for freedom. You spend smarter, save automatically, and invest strategically. Over time, your money starts working for you instead of the other way around. You achieve not only wealth, but peace of mind. Knowing every dollar you earn moves you closer to the life you truly want. Remember, wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how wisely you manage it. Start applying the 50-30-20 rule today, and you'll see your wallet growing thicker every month. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful money tips to reach financial freedom faster.